Yeah, the energy is high. Yeah, the fire is on us. It's been a minute or two or three, but we're back at you. That's right, live and live in color. I don't have to tell you who I am because you already know. Listen, we have a relationship. I am the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shapeshifter, the code breaker, baby, coming at you live and live in color with 2,400 watts of power in this hour. Yeah, that's right. We've been away for a little bit on location in various places, dealing with family things that have been going on. But I feel the support. I felt the support from several weeks ago. Our very own Prince of Peace and Songbird, KD, Royal Reign, out on location last week. Listen, we've had a host of things going on. The one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander, out on location. But listen, that's what we do. We want to thank you for lending your support, your love, your energy, your power, your authority, your entire makeup, all that you are, all that you say, all that you do. Thank you for being a part of the Truth Session. We want to officially welcome you right back to the Truth Session. That's right, where your thoughts really count. You also know that your thoughts really matter to us. And listen, let me not be remiss to remind you and place this back in your hearing that the Wind Down Wednesday session, that's right. Oh my goodness, have been off the charts, off the chain, off the cloud, off the cup, and off the Richter scale. The one has been turning it up. And listen, if you don't know by now, the one is officially set up the Wind Down Wednesday podcast page. So that information will be on the timeline, and you can go in and like and subscribe to the Wind Down Wednesday Therapy with a Sip podcast. That's right. Listen, grown folk conversation. That's right. We've been turning it up. We've had our various constituents in the house being a part of it. And it's a place where, listen, we can talk about some things where people who may know some things may not venture into that conversation because sometimes it's a little testy. It's a little tricky. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. But for us, we just dial right in and go in. Go in. That's right. We go right in there and then talk about those things that are needful, that are necessary. Back here at you once again after several weeks of being away. But of course, in our thoughts and in our prayers, you're listening to the sounds on sound from the Prince of Peace, bringing us back into that same atmosphere. You know, as you see, it's like we hit the pause button and we're picking right back up where we left off. That's right, same energy, same flow, same grace, same enthusiasm. And of course, you know I'm sitting in the captain's seat for the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander, who will be coming back at you soon. Listen, I'm going to be dealing with something powerful just to get us to a space and place talking about time. That's where we're going, about time. We've hit many topics, but everything has been really centered around quantum time. So we're going to get to that shortly, but today we're going to be talking about quantum principles are all around us, which is going to take me to the culmination of what I've been dealing with, and that is the effects of time. That's right, quantum effects of time. We're going to be dealing with that soon. And it's going to round everything out, what I've been giving you, what I've been placing in your lap. Thank you once again for tuning in to the Truth Session. We don't take you for granted nor lightly, but we govern ourselves accordingly with your time. We know that it's precious. We know that the weekends are very valuable. And that's where you seek to get things done, but you purpose in your heart to be a part of the Truth Session on Saturdays. That's right, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time. We have constituents from everywhere, all over the country, who tune in and listen to us and comment, lend their support, lend their financial support, their donations. We appreciate your donations. Week in, week out, Wednesday. Thank you for your donations for the Wind Down Wednesday session. The Truth Session session on Saturdays. Thank you for your donations. It's what we do here, and we appreciate you for supporting us. And before I get started, I just want to mention this. I was a part of a system where coaches really worked hard, gave their time, effort over the summer, prepared the kids, because there's no way we can go into a regular season by starting out day one of the regular season. There's no way the kids will be ready. So that means there's off-season preparation, conditioning, basic skills, fundamentals, all those things that we do behind closed doors that nobody sees, but they see the finished product, and that's victories. We've had complete seasons undefeated, playoff seasons undefeated, back-to-back seasons undefeated, year in, year out, track, football, basketball, undefeated seasons. Well, we worked hard. Guess what? Those off seasons we never got paid for. The system wasn't set up to honor the coaches and the players the way we should have been honored and recognized. So all summer long, all preseason long, 2 months before things even jumped off officially, we were working. Then after the season got off and running, guess what? Our paychecks were broken up into 20 pieces because of some errors a few coaches did years back. Now I want you to think about that. What if you put in all that time, heart, effort, put the place on the map, honored the kids, caused them to grow, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally. Young men, young women, maturing, affected every aspect of their lives. They did not get paid for it. Well, think about that. All we ask you to do is to donate, because we take the time, the energy, the effort to give you what you need. So if you think about that, it's a lot of work. So we want to say to those who donate, thank you. Because it's the equivalent of what I just described as a coach, as a teacher, as an educator. There are things we do behind the scenes that nobody sees. We just make it look easy, but it takes some work. So I want to acknowledge you and give you a shout out and say thank you for the support, the financial support. Because we're content creators, we want to thank you for that. And I know I'm speaking on behalf of the one, he would like to thank you as well for your donation, your time, your financial support. I want to say Shalom Aleichem. Assalamu Alaikum. Imhotep. Amaragani. Amarikaka. Amarigada. Ola. Konnichiwa. As you may know, I am the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shape shifter, the code breaker, baby. Listen, I want you to know that I'm not going to be before you long, but I plan to be before you strong, because there's some things I just want to rehash on, introduce to get you ready for time. Time waits for no one. Hello, somebody. Listen, as I prepare and get myself set up here, listen, I want you to listen to the Sounds on Sounds from, that's right, the Prince of Peace and his daughter, that's right, Kafara Baby Bird. Come on and walk with us.
Tell me
about it. Come on, Christian. This is the truth session. Yes, sir. Come on. This is yes, it is. You won't be divided, down to side, even now. Your voice will be heard, concealed, and love. This is true session. This is the What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Yeah, I'm excited about this quantum energy. What's going on, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander? I see you. Yeah, he's in the house. What's going on, Queen Octavia, the ATL? As long as you stop by, I see you. Said, unfortunately, not for long today. That's okay. Your presence is always needful. It's very powerful. It's informative. It's energetic. Thank you for your thoughts. Listen, you be spot on. You be popping that cone from a distance. I see you. We must support each other. You're absolutely right. Let me hit you with that heart emoji. In fact, we put that care emoji in there. Yeah. You just entered the session with the Truth Session family. Come on in. The reason I am so excited about what we've been doing here at the Truth Session is because we have been watching it manifest. Wow. We've been watching these principles manifest. We've been talking about them. We've had our round table, so to speak. We've had our off time just conversing about what has been materializing. And it's a thing of beauty to see quantum principles in effect, because years ago they were just suppositions, just theories, just thoughts, what ifs. But to watch them develop and come to fruition is mind-blowing, figuratively speaking. It's mind-blowing. It's a thing of beauty. The Prince of Peace and I, and the one, we've been talking about these principles for so long. When we were in the developmental stage, just having conversations about it. And the one has been sharing some things with us, been shedding some light on some very powerful truths and some tools. Times we had to retool, reshape, re-energize, revitalize. Times we were back on our heels and had to regroup and rethink some things. We were still talking about quantum principles. And how no matter what others are doing or will be doing, what we have declared and decreed will manifest. And we've really, literally walked into the things that we've been discussing. How important time is, yet we don't advance with time. We advance through time because we understood that it was a measuring stick. And that eventually those quantum things we talked about were going to materialize and line up with time and give credence to what many maybe thought was just something we were talking about on a whim. They were never principles on a whim. They were principles that we had encountered. We intuitively bumped into them, spiritually bumped into them, physically bumped into those things that we were talking about. And I recall sharing something with the apostle, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. I told him one day that I was at work and I watched how his words literally went out and just paused and stopped and waiting for hindrances and borders and buffets and distractions go by. I went for a walk during my lunch break. And I was looking at all the attacks that I was experiencing and the family was experiencing. And I was just sitting there meditating on it. And I watched how his words were going out and I was focusing on what he was saying and how it just halted and watched things go by. See, when you walk in a level of wisdom and intelligence, your words will obey with wisdom and intelligence. So there are times that words won't bore through a thing, as we talked about and demonstrated when I showed you the diagram. In fact, I'm just going to quickly show it back to you again. As we quickly talked about how quantumly there are times when things tunnel through, how things move with force, but it creates a level of integrity as it passes through and does not destroy the structure. Well, not destroying the structure and keeping it intact and in place is also called integrity. So I recall watching his words move with integrity, creating a pathway, a tunnel for us to operate in without destroying other things around it. You know, as the sacred text, the narrative talked about how you let the wheat and the tare grow together in the day of harvest. What it will do? It will separate. I've watched his words separate people. And I'm within the confines of what I'm talking about and what I will be discussing. I've watched it separate incidents, separate people who didn't belong in the midst anyway because they had ulterior motives. I'm talking about quantum effects all around us. It's dealing with those things that will go with you because they're quantum leaps. Effects around us. Let's look at this. As I share with you, I'm not going to be before you long. I want to reenact us. Put us back in the frame of mind where we left off several weeks ago. But watch this. We understand that quantum principles universally shape us because we deal with the most complex, smallest, minute particles. And if you look at our systems, whether it's physical, mechanical, electrical, spiritual, it's all made up of what? Particles. Particle physics. Everything is dealing with particles. So now, dealing with particle technology all around us, those things that make up our ability to function, our ability to understand and know. Those are quantum fundamental principles. Even when we talk about the structure of atoms, the nucleus, the center of an atom, the center of a thing, the very core, the net core, the very magnetic pull. You know, those things that pull on us at the very net core of who we are. We can feel them, we can sense them, we can sense the vibration. As I once dealt with technical things and physical things and biological things, I recall and will never forget or fail to recall that the one said that everything is in vibration. I see you. Hashtag ability to know. The one. He said everything was in vibration. And that's powerful because at the neck core, at the neck hashtag center of who you are, you're in vibration. And I was demonstrating with my students yesterday talking about that. And what I did was talked about a basketball. I said, how many of you saw me spin a basketball? A few of them saw me spinning a basketball in the hallway because a couple of the athletes had the basketball in their hand waiting to go out to just have a time of recess. And I asked for a pass and I spun the basketball. And the faster I spun that basketball, the more it stayed up. The faster I gave it a little momentum, it was sitting like it was on a needle with a string at the top of it, holding it together. At the moment it began to slow down, the ball began to fall. You and I vibrate at a fast pace, but in control. That's why we remain centered and we stand up. We stand upright because we vibrate at a rapid pace and we keep our center of gravity intact. Well, what's our center of gravity? Understand the gravity of things. Understanding the importance of things. Not taking anything for granted. I recently had a family member to transition. And then recently found out about another one. And I had a conversation with the one. And we were talking about understanding the gravity of the situation. We understand the gravity of the situation. So what do? Deal with it accordingly. Keep things in perspective. Understanding emotions. How to compartmentalize things. Having your mental faculties intact. Quantum all around us. Having the ability to hashtag standing upright. I see you, the one. Having the ability to stand upright in the wake of adversity. I'm talking about quantum effects all around us. Watch this. Atoms which make up everything we see and interact with exist and behave according to quantum principles. As I wrote, everything around us interact with quantum principles. Electrons, as I demonstrated before, orbiting around various energy shells, right? So now, they have the ability to jump from energy shell to energy shell as valence electrons. So we created that model and showed you that they don't have to stay in certain orbitals. They don't have to stay in certain places. I'm going to draw this in the center because I want it to be in the center of what we're talking about. So that we know that our electrons can quickly jump to energy shells. What they also can do is attach themselves and become ions to other energies, other entities. That's what we do. And we become what they are. For example, almost 30 years ago, my valence energy, my electrons, my very being jumped and attached itself, myself, to the one. My outer shell jumped from energy level to energy level when I bumped into the one. It turned into who he was. I met some constituents back then who said, I knew when I first met you that you were walking with the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. They knew it because my language was consistent with his. At the time, I didn't understand all the quantum makeup of it, although I had a degree in physics. But to connect it with these principles, with spirituality, didn't have that yet. Until I started walking with the one. And he brought out what I already knew. He brought it out and made it relevant. He brought out the engineer in me, although I was functioning as an engineer before I met him. But when I started jumping those energy levels, my energy level went up. My understanding went up. How to apply certain principles. When to do, when to say. When to live and let live. When to destroy. When to annihilate. When to nurture. Those were quantum principles that I had no clue of until I realized that quantum effects was all around me. When this became relevant, important, how to sometimes leap over certain things and still have my integrity intact, my energy level intact. That's what a good leader would do for you. Watch this. Here's the other quantum principle that was around us. The one talked about this almost 30 years ago. Watch this. Light and vision. That's another bullet point I jotted down. I'm talking about quantum effects all around us. Watch this. Light itself is a quantum phenomenon, displaying both particles or photons and wave characteristics. So we look at light displaying photons, the ability to, light sub dark, causing things to manifest, darkness, dark circuit theory, and also having wave characteristics. That's right, waves. So now wave patterns, picking up other wave patterns, causing constructive interference. I had studied it in school. I had studied constructive interference, destructive interference. When two waves come together and they grow, constructive interference. Coming together with the one, growing, but also hooking up with others, and destructive interference was taking place. A depth to where I should have been growing. Quantum principles all around us. Watch this. Quantum principles explain how photons interact with the cells, even in our eyes. Even the cells in our eyes. Because again, it's small, minute particles that don't remain in the same position. So our eyes having the ability to see it. As you know, we don't see with these, we see this is duality. But seeing with our pineal gland, and as you know, as images come in, we see them upside down. Optics will tell you that we see upside down until it hits that part of us, that pineal part of us, turning it right side up. Then we begin to see. Sometimes we see upside down. We don't see with clarity, with focus, until we understand that there are quantumly enacted things in our lives and people in our lives who will cause us to see. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you run into someone who think that they have it all, you might want to get away from them. You might want to get away from them. Because as much as we know, we still don't know anything. Hello, somebody. Why? Information is released in time. But then there are those who know how to go out and get it. Bring it back to time frame present. But yet keeping everything intact. And I talked about this the last time we met. how we can go back Pelaginesia in time, straighten some things out, but yet not affect something from the past, not leaving any of the present in the past, so that it doesn't affect the structure, the integrity of what's supposed to happen. For example, some of us experienced some great trauma in the past, but we have the ability to go back to that time, revisit it, speak to it, get healed from it, and come back, and it'll change our future. Not only our future, it'll change our present. Our presence would be, or present day occurrences will be changed. Or should I say, a metamorphosis will take place. Because we've gathered in some information that taught us how to deal with our current situation. Listen, if you're not healed from your past, listen, you'll make decisions based on your hurt. You'll see things that are not there. You'll see with your duality as opposed to singularity. Yes, you will. You'll make decisions based on what has happened to you. You'll make decisions based on an unreality and think it's a reality, and you would want everybody to operate in that unreality. I'm telling you, making the quantum leap, because quantum principles are all around us. And I'm dwelling on this because it's taking us to a place where we understand that it's not spookism. It's not mystical. Fundamental principles that have been there all along, but we just didn't understand them. But if we go back in time, we'll understand that, listen, we had natural abilities to understand what was taking place, how to deal with the elements, how to manipulate the elements. We were tricked out of that ability. And it was just a natural occurrence. I know what I'm talking about. Watch this. Additionally, the colors and brightness we perceive arise from quantum interactions. The ability to see, sight, and sound brings about colors. Light in atoms, which is absorbed and it emits energy. As we absorb energy, darkness absorbs energy and releases. Everything proceeds out of darkness, out of black, all colors. So we absorb things and then we release light. Yeah. My next point. Watch this. Randomness and probability in nature. How many of you know we've been talking about this for some time? Probability, potential, probability, possibility. But when you're dealing with quantum principles, what sometimes may seem probable turns into a separate probability. And we talked about that, how probability is between two numbers. And it continues to take us back to oneness. Probability is between 0 and 1. That's probability. So the closer we are to 1, the more likely things will occur. It's still going back to the 1. So it is never, or has not been fortuitous to us that our leader was named the 1. Because when we came in contact with him, things were more probable. Yeah, things more than likely were going to happen. They started happening. And so at a conference, or after a conference, he bumped into someone that called him the 1. And he has told this story time and time again. So now it is very befitting that probability is between 0 and 1. So the closer you are to 1, the more certain things will happen. The closer you are to 0, the unlikely things will happen. So maybe at along this pathway, maybe point 3, that's less likely for things to occur. But when you get up around point 9, point 8, here's point 5 in the middle, things are more likely to happen. Probability. That's what happened with quantum principles. Because things are moving so rapidly, it doesn't give our enemies the opportunity to just randomly at will attack if we keep moving. And once again, I have to give him his props. I have to give him his recognition. When I met the Prince of Peace, he said that all you have to do is keep on moving. Don't stop. I don't care how bad it looks. Keep moving. That's quantum principles. Keep moving. Because if you stop moving, you give those things which are after you or attacking you an opportunity to do just that. Attack you, to land. But as we know with quantum principles, listen, it's hard to detect a location and momentum when they're moving. Oh, hello, somebody. So now I understand that. Watch this. Probability and randomness. Quantum mechanics is inherently probabilistic. Yeah. There's a probability that this will occur. But at that very moment, guess what? Another probability manifests. Which means there is always the potential and the probability to be successful. You know, like that very last part of the, let's say, a basketball game or during the playoffs, the energy is totally different. And the one always talked about this. He said, man, that energy is different during the playoffs than it is in regular season. So it's harder to close out a game. Even if you've beaten the team 4 times during the regular season, when you get to the playoffs, the energy is different. It's hard to pinpoint a certain accuracy or precision. Well, that's what we're dealing with now. We're in the playoffs. Things are about to get a little sticky, a little hairy. Just finished up the election. Things are about to get a little sticky, a little hairy. Yeah. So now we're relying more on our probability or probabilistic ability, our quantum ability to pinpoint, to maneuver, to adjust, to retool, to repolish. Oh, we're relying on those principles, those things that we've been talking about. Listen, it behooves us to go back and to understand how these things have been systematically arranged for, put together, how everything is lining up, so that we can be most productive and effective. I want to be at my best at all times. I want to be at my best. Even in my worst hour, I want to still be at my best. You can be at your best even in your darkest hour. If you realize that even in a dark place, you're still full of light. If you go to the bottom of the ocean, the deeper you get, guess what? You're going to find light. At the deepest part of the ocean, you're going to find what? A flow. Why? Because there is a river at the bottom of the ocean. They found that there is a river flowing at the bottom of the ocean. Wait a minute. How? Things aren't supposed to be like that, because the deeper you go in the ocean, the more dense it gets. It's harder to get to that place. That's why you gotta have a special submarine to go deeper, because of the density and the pressure of the water. Oh, the deeper you get, the deeper you go, guess what? The pressure gets heavy. Things get heavy upon you. Things start happening. Yeah, but if you don't give up and keep moving, keep going deep, keep digging deep for the data and the lights, guess what? You're going to find your flow. When it appears to be no way out, you eventually find a quantum flow. So these natural phenomena actually explain those quantum principles. We even talked about that. How the subconscious ties into those things happening subconsciously. Oh my goodness. Quantumly explains what we see naturally. It's a natural occurrence. It it will always be that way. But now that we're learning to tap into it, becoming more aware of what's around us, becoming more aware of ourselves, understanding why we have certain skill sets, why we have multiple intelligence, how we're able to do certain things in our lives, how we're able to speak to certain people, have certain effects on people. We're starting to understand why we've been given that ability, why we operate in certain arenas, why we've been graced to go to certain places, to demonstrate with certain people. The more we understand that, the more we know, the greater the effect we'll have. Let me go to this timeline. I'm almost done with you. Hashtag when to live and let live. Hashtag Wayne Patton, that's the one, y'all. Hashtag constructive interference. Hashtag destructive interference. Listen, my goodness, hitting that time, pound time travel. I see you. Hashtag time travel. Hashtag light and dark. Deep pressure creates growth. You understand me? The one. Greetings. Queen Dominica Jones out of Chi-Town. Greetings back under you. Always good to see your face in the place. Yeah. Hashtag everything interacts. Come on here. Hashtag energy shell. Oh my goodness. One has got this thing flowing. Walk with those that gives the energy back. Come on, that's powerful right there. That's right. The one says, walk with those that give the energy back. Listen, there are some energy grabbers, energy thieves. But it's time to walk with those who will give you the energy back and not always take it from you. Yeah, we've been around some who just continue to take and take and take and take. And the more you do for them, the more they expect you to do for them, the more they take and they won't give back. Won't give back the energy. It's time to cut your losses. If you can't give me back all that energy I'm giving you, I don't need you. I love you. Who loves me? But if you can't give me back the energy that I'm giving out to you, listen, you are a detriment to me. You're an energy grabber. You're a bloodsucker. You'll continue to steal and steal and steal. Listen, you're removing the law of reciprocity. So that means you are dangerous, as small as that crystal may be. If you're not giving back unto me, I'm not bleeding into you, you're bleeding into me. That's nothing but a figurative account of cutting the covenant. And that's what we did years ago. Our ancestors, they cut themselves, bled into one another to cut a covenant. Well, that's the same principle. Cut and covenant is the same word. We created a covenant with one another. I'm bleeding into you, you're bleeding into me. We're bleeding out. We're reciprocating that same energy so we can continue to make it. Listen, if you're constantly causing me to bleed and you're not patching me up, you have no bandages. You have no healing salve. I don't need you. I must be going. Because it's all about healing. It's all about hashtag healing. Oh, yeah. Hashtag energy grabbers. Listen. Gratitude. I see from our YouTube page. Yes, we are broadcasting YouTube page. Charge to my head and not my heart for not mentally. That's right. If you start having problems on our Facebook page, you can go to the YouTube page. Yes, indeed, true indeed. We see that Lucky Charm said, God bless. We appreciate you, Lucky C, Lucky Charm. The one says, one must lean into the right, one with the right energy. Yes, indeed. To lean into the right one with the right energy. So that you may continue to walk with the right Hashtag probability. I see that the one placed on the timeline. Listen, here's why I take a station identification break. That's right, prepared by the Prince of Peace. Y'all better ask somebody. Oh, y'all didn't know? He's been doing this for a long time. Gratitude. As you listen to the sounds on sound from the Prince of Peace.
Truth is the only thing that'll make you free. It'll make you free. It's gonna make you free. It's gonna make you free. It'll make you free. Free, 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 free. Truth is the only thing. Truth is the only thing. Truth is the only thing to make you free.
Yeah, come on.
Free, 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 free. Free, 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 free. Freedom, truth is the only thing. 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 All I wanna know, all I wanna hear,
Come on.
all I wanna see, all I wanna feel. I said all I wanna know, all I wanna see, all I wanna feel, all I wanna taste,
Come on.
all I wanna touch, all is the truth. This is the truth session. You've entered into the truth. This is the truth session. You've entered into the truth.
Come on.
This is the truth session. You've entered into another one.
I see the one placed on the timeline, and lucky charm is enjoying the music and singing. Another shout out to our very own Prince of Peace
This is the truth session.
over there on the chimes and cymbals. Our very own Kafira. Once again, lucky charm is enjoying the music and the singing. Listen, to give another shout out. I was conversing last night with one of our constituents. And Prince of Peace, you got your accolades again. The person I was conversing with said when I tune in and listen to that sound, it's a sound that I've never heard before. And I always enjoy the singing, the music. It's different. It's soothing. It's filled full of healing. So I concur with you, Lucky Charm. I enjoy the music as well. And when we all come together and play music, listen, I enjoy it while I'm playing, while I'm listening. Because it's something that I've never heard before. There's music all around us, but man, there's some specific music that has been sent to do certain things. And I always hear that it's soothing. So that's grateful gratitude to our very own Prince of Peace. Come on, let's give him a black hand. Yes, indeed, true indeed. Come on. Yeah. Come on here. Come on here, Prince of Peace. I see you, I see you, I see you. Thank you. The one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. He said, Dr. Richardson, Dr. J.C. Richardson. Come on, one of our constituents, my brother, sends his regards. I appreciate the love, Dr. Richardson. It's always good to hear from you. Always good to hear from you. Listen, I look forward to the next opportunity I get to see your face in person, my brother. Yes, by the way, that brother's mad. Oh, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Listen, Dr. J.C. Richardson, one of the sons of the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. Listen, that brother's off the chart, off the chain, off the cloud, off the cuff, off the roof, off the Richter scale. Oh yeah, we've done many conferences together, and listen, his level of understanding and revelation is powerful. So it's always a good thing to tag team with that brother. Oh my goodness. Listen, this last thing I want to rehash and go back to, that's on the timeline that the one said to us. He said, deep pressure creates growth. Deep pressure creates growth. Oftentimes, the one, we don't want to feel that deep pressure because quantumly we understand how it's going to feel. And it's human nature to take the easy route out. But it's the deep pressure that brings forth the beauty in who we are. The next one and the best one of ourselves. It's the deep pressure. It's a place where there's refinement. There's refinement, purification. Sometimes it's just the deep pressure that's going to cause things to break off, tear apart. It's the deep pressure. See, sometimes you just can't go to the side of your house and use a wet rag, a soapy rag. Sometimes you need what? Pressure washing. Hello, somebody. You need to pressure wash those bricks and siding, aluminum siding, to get to the place where you want it to shine. Sometimes we just need pressure washing. It's the deep quantum pressure washing that gets us to a place where we can now operate with ease. Does it ever always get easy? No, because you're going to continue to grow. We continue to grow, to go on to know, and to grow, and to grow, and to elevate, to go higher and higher and higher. Because at every level, there's someone or some people who we're designed to affect, to influence. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I want to affect change with the greatest level of influence and effect. I want to live out my identity, my destiny, my purpose. I want to perfect my craft. Even when I think I've plateaued out at my craft, guess what I go back and do? Go back to the fundamentals and start it all over again. Continue to recycle it and recycle. Because it's there where I find I've missed something. Something I didn't develop, something I didn't perfect. So I go back and rehash and retool, reconstitute, re-energize. Go back and get that clean and renewable energy so that I can stay in shape. Listen, quantum principles are all around us. And with that understanding and knowing, we're going to deal with time before the one comes back at you. We'll talk about time to culminate this. Listen, let me quickly check this timeline and we're going to get out of here. I see you to 100. Talk, keeping it 100. Dropping the microphone. Yes, indeed. True indeed. Listen, if you have not had an opportunity to donate to the Truth Session, this is a good time to do so. And as I described at the very beginning of the Truth Session, we are content creators. And we practice. We practice. And we practice. And we hone in on our skills. Don't be like those in authority that I described earlier who refuse to pay us properly for training our athletes. all summer long. May, June, July, August, September, October. And then they decided, according to how they pay, start paying late November. You can't perfect anything by waiting until it's time to try to perfect it. No, it's going to take practice. It's going to take some ups and downs and perfecting and adjustments. Your talent will take you to a place where the lack of discipline can't keep you. That's the one. You can be talented and only go so far, but when you start perfecting it, honing in on those skills, understanding the different nuances of your gifts and your talents and your craft, it's then when it becomes second nature to you. And then you begin to create challenges for yourself to be innovative and creative, operate in multiple intelligence. And you'll continue to invent things for you to get better. I know, as a kid, I created challenges, seemingly impossible challenges to try to accomplish things. And as I would accomplish them, I would create something else, seemingly impossible to achieve. But once I got those things in my crosshairs, guess what? I accomplished them and created something else. That's what we should be doing. Perfecting that which concerneth thee. Listen, thank you for your time, your energy, your effort. You just tuned into the Truth Session. That's right, I am the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shape shifter, the code breaker. Saying unto you, listen, this one ought to hold you. Come on, hold what you got, muse over it. Concentrate upon it, ponder over it. But by all means, govern yourselves accordingly. And until next time, you want to say, Shalom Aleichem. Peace be unto you, family. Thank you for your donations, Prince of Peace. I'll see you out there. Wind down Wednesday,